In the old days, of course, it was all much simpler. Those blind and partially sighted people who did get jobs were often in sheltered workshops, carrying out craft trades such as basket weaving. That was how Newco in the London borough of Newham started out, making brushes in a supported workshop for servicemen who lost their sight in the First World War. Now its modern factories employ 90 people, half of them registered disabled. And Newco, which now makes windows and kitchen units for Newham's council houses, operates commercially. But Newco is still part of the local council. It wants to be independent, to adopt a new form of social enterprise. As part of the Visage programme, Marion Summers from Newco has produced a manual for other companies which are thinking of becoming independent social firms. She says the move has risks, but also substantial advantages.
Big organisations have this red tape. You have to conform to their ideas of what is required, which the local authority here doesn't know how to make kitchen units and plastic windows. We do. With Visage, we've been able to look at other social firms going through the same process. So we're learning from them as much as they're learning from us. We've been out and we've interviewed different companies in the same situation. So it's a big learning curve for everybody.
But perhaps the most radical change Visage is supporting is to help blind and partially sighted people set up in business on their own. Thousands of documents arrive each week at Iris Digital Archiving, solicitors' case files, personnel records and company documents. Iris staff scan them into computers and send them back to their clients on CDs, making it easier to store information and to share it. While it isn't a job a totally blind person could do, the equipment Iris staff use means it can be done by people with limited sight.
So when we sit at the desk, our visual impairment disappears. We don't have one anymore. And we can do everything that a fully sighted person can do.
Liz Cook is managing director of Iris, which has been set up with support from Action for Blind People, the lead partner in Visage. It provided premises, business advice and the financial backing the fledgling company needed to get started. Iris is becoming completely independent, but Liz Cook says that without Action's help, it would never have got off the ground in the first place.
If we had to go out and set this up from scratch, it could not have been done because I certainly didn't have that kind of money to do it. And they have supported us in every way that you can think of right from the beginning of this project.
For this catering firm too, support from Action for Blind People has been vital. John Charles' company, Catering to Order, runs the canteen at Action's offices, and it's planning to expand to provide made-to-order sandwiches to workers in the City of London. John Charles had wanted to set up his own company 8 years ago, but he couldn't get anyone to back him.
When I graduated from university, I actually had an idea for this business and going around to different banks as you do to get a business loan to start up. The biggest barriers I actually came across was quite often you'd be told, oh, but you're blind, you know, you wouldn't be able to cope in a commercial kitchen, you know, can you take on so much responsibility with your vision? And the vision was always seen as a disability, so and too much of a risk for the banks.
After rejection by the banks, John Charles spent most of 8 years on the dole until Visage provided the support he needed. For Andy Taylor, helping people like John set up thriving businesses is a measure of Visage's success.
We took long-term unemployed people who were able to work, ready to work and willing to work, but needed extra training, coaching and support to make it a reality. They'd been unemployed for a long time, many of them. So what we were able to do was to bring them into these business settings, doing real work in a real commercial context, with a bottom line of money in and money out being important. And we were able to ensure, through one-to-one training and through constant personal development and goal setting, that people were able to achieve their potential.
I will often email them on a Sunday night, and on Monday morning a parcel's going out to Australia or to some remote place.
Carla Simpson's a satisfied customer. She's been using one of the businesses Visage has helped to set up, Pierce Distribution Services, to ship her baby-changing bags around the world. She says Ashley Pearce and his company have proved reliable and efficient.
The fact that they are partially sighted, if not sighted, is not at all indicative of their ability to do the job. It's not relevant. There are certain jobs related to distribution which you can get around with technology, which they've done exceedingly well. So they have catered each job to each person's ability, and I don't feel that their partial sightedness is an issue for me whatsoever.
15 months into running his business, Ashley Pearce is looking to expand into new areas of work. And he thinks some of the people he's done business with have changed their attitudes to blind and partially sighted people as a result.
I think before people were stereotyped, and I think it's easy done, of course. They thought blind people can't cross the roads, they're looked after, they're in day centres. So when you speak to employers, can you really do this? Can you really do that? I think they're really amazed, and there's so many questions that they ask you, and when you actually say, yes, I'm running my own business, they're absolutely amazed, and yeah, we will give you the work.
The fourth micro-business Action for Blind People has helped to set up is a stationery company which handles internet orders as well as supplying Action itself. It's now becoming part of Iris, and its staff will help with the company's digital archiving work. After more than a year operating as part of Action for Blind People, the businesses are becoming independent, though they'll still have some support for the next few months. And Action for Blind People is now making plans to help more blind and partially sighted entrepreneurs as they set up in business.